Hello and a very warm welcome to our special report, Yemen, the Great Escape, with me, Frank Pereira. With the Houthi rebels advancing further south from Sanaa to Aden, the already deteriorating situation in Yemen only got much worse. Post that, of course, the Saudi-led coalition decided to bomb the Houthis in Yemen and caught in the crossfire were thousands of civilians, many of them Indians.
The Arab world's poorest and most misunderstood country has been facing multiple crises for years. A shortage of oil and water, a rapidly growing population, hunger, dictatorship, corruption, an international terrorist presence, and deep internal regional and political differences. Now escalating regional rivalry between the neighboring Saudi Arabia and Iran has sparked a wider war that has led to chaos and possible collapse. Yemen's security forces have split loyalties, with some units backing the beleaguered president Abdrabbu Mansour Hadi and others the Houthis and Hadi's predecessor Ali Abdullah Saleh, who has remained politically influential. Hadi is also supported in the predominantly Sunni south of the country by militia known as Popular Resistance Committees and local tribesmen. The immediate crisis dates back to Yemen's chapter of the Arab Spring, which in 2011 saw the removal of President Ali Abdullah Saleh, who had ruled the country for 33 years. The Saudis and their Gulf allies, supported by the West, oversaw a political transition that brought in Hadi as president. That temporarily avoided civil war but failed to introduce more fundamental changes as Saleh continued to maneuver behind the scenes. Hadi's attempts to reform the military also backfired badly. Most experts say that the conflict is fundamentally about power and resources rather than sectarian confrontation. From 2004, the Houthis fought Saleh partly to resist growing Saudi influence and also because they opposed his close relationship with the US during the post-2001 war on terror. Today, however, Saleh is said to be backing the Houthis, perhaps as a way of eventually giving power to his son Ahmad Ali and weakening his enemies. On 22nd March 2015, a Houthi offensive began with fighting in Taiz. By 25th March, Taiz, Mocha and Lahij fell to the Houthis and they reached the outskirts of Aden, the seat of power for Hadi's government. On 25th March, Hadi fled the country. On the same day, a coalition led by Saudi Arabia launched military operations by using airstrikes to restore the former Yemeni government, and the United States provided intelligence and logistical support for the campaign. It was the beginning of a full-blown war.
Well, with the situation in Yemen getting desperate and seeing several Indians stranded there, the Indian government went into overdrive. Minister of State in the Ministry of External Affairs, General V.K. Singh, decided to lead from the front. Operation Rahat was in action.
It was on this day that the Saudi-led coalition began its air offensive against the rapidly advancing Houthis in Yemen. Caught in the crossfire were thousands of Indians with nowhere to go.
Bombing starts, it's very difficult. We can see from our flight like this. If we are coming up, not need to go up. Just we can see watch from the window side that flights are coming and explosions. And they put the bomb by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it started exploiting like anything by 6 o'clock, and at least 4 to 5 hours. It was continuously blasting.
The country has seen several wars in the past, and the civilians thought that it would be like the ones that they had seen in the past. They did not expect the situation to spiral out of control so rapidly.
In 94 there was a war there in Yemen. It was between Aden and Yemen, but there was time and it was not strong like this. And on 2011, when they removed the old president Ali Abdullah Saleh, at that time there was a war. That also between two families actually for the power. It was a normal thing, cool thing, but this war, so we felt like that. This will be a Houthi, means it was a small majority, it's not a major gang. So when they started like this, we thought it is normal like before, but when it comes day by day it was increased, and even we could see, we were seeing every day the blast and all, and our houses are shivering.
With bombs dropping around them and nowhere to go, what they witnessed was something that they had never expected.
I was not thinking that so much of these things will be done by the government, but really, I can say the government, it's like, it's booming. I love the Indian government, and I'm very thankful to them for whatever they have done to us.
The Narendra Modi-led government took a decision to launch Operation Rahat and bring back every Indian stranded in Yemen.
Our effort is to have you all process as fast as possible, load you up into the aircraft, and by tonight you will all be in India. All those who are going to India.
It was not a simple operation by any means. India was not at war, but was in the midst of it.
Challenges were uncertainty, fact on ground not known, so there was no planning which could be done, which a military activity should actually be planned to the T, but we didn't have the inputs required. Second requirement was that the civilians who were involved, so civilian casualties had to be zero, and the time, we had to be swift and fast, and we had to evacuate not only our countrymen but also international people who had requested us, so our credibility was at stake, so that was a challenge.
The Indian government sent ships and aircrafts to Yemen to evacuate Indians, and word was sent out to them that they would be evacuated.
We went to the embassy, and they advised us to register our name, and they will call us. Actually, they helped a lot because nobody was there to take care of us, and they listed all of us, our names, and they called. Even they are working for 24 hours, means with 20 people or something like that, and they are giving call that come to airport.
There are associations for Indians, Malayalis. There are several associations. Through them they are passing the informations mainly. So by like that we are getting information that we should have to go to embassy to register or go to Indian embassy school to register. Like that we went and registered according to the list they are calling us. Even they are calling at night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock and all. They are supporting us.
The Indian embassy in Yemen worked overtime to ensure that every Indian was returned safely. The embassy was well aided by some good Samaritans.
Indian embassy, they help a lot of us. Otherwise we can't come because we don't have the money that time. They give the free ticket, and in the airport also they give snacks and something to us. And the ministry also, the central government, they gave us a lot of helps because the minister was there that time. We are also little strong because our minister also here. That is why we are also happy about that.
we also support, means we work as a assist embassy for people comes to register their names and passport copies and giving them advice, and we help also because they have lack of people is less, because only 4 or 5 peoples. If 1000 people, 1500 people, how can manage them? They couldn't manage on once like that. Then they have to register names and things. We help them, we assist embassies also.
The first of the evacuees were brought back to India in Air India and Indian Air Force flights which landed in Kochi and Mumbai.
I'm at the Cochin International Airport. I'm going to take you inside the airport in just a bit to try and figure out and bring you a sense of what exactly happened there when the Indians came out of the international terminal, and a sense of joy was seen on not just their faces but also a sense of relief on the faces of their many loved ones who are waiting for them outside the international arrival terminal.
The Kochi International Airport is no stranger to evacuations. It has been the focal point of many arahats in the past. With over 16 lakh Keralites living abroad and a very volatile situation in the Middle East, the state has seen its share of citizens returning in times of peril.
Even last time Libya evacuation, or this time this Yemen evacuation, and because most of the time evacuation in Kerala, especially Keralites are used to come, or even sometimes some Tamilians also will be there to come to Cochin, because Cochin is being the central part of Kerala. It is easy for them to commute to different part of Kerala. Therefore, even Libyan evacuation or even this Yemen evacuation, CIL is totally equipped for them to clear the passengers without any problem.
This time was no different. With hundreds of Indians returning from Yemen, adequate arrangements were made to facilitate a smooth transition.
Actually, normally when this type of process comes now, we are giving some extra provisions for them to have an easy clearance. Mainly separate immigration counters will be provided for them, the faster clearances, and their baggage offloading and taking will be without any hurdles. They will be taken the baggages, and there are somebody will be receiving them even from the government of Kerala side through the Norca. There are people for receiving them and giving some disturbance allowance in the thing. And moreover, we have been arranged some transporting arrangement through the government of Kerala. There are buses arranged for them and will be parked in the specific places for them to commute to their native places. These are the arrangements we have done here.
Separate counters were set up for the expats and help desks were in place to provide them with any information that they required. Monetary support was also provided by the state government to enable them to get back home.
I'm right now inside the arrivals terminal of the Cochin International Airport, and over 5,000 people have been evacuated from Yemen thus far. Most of them landed on the runway behind me in Air India and IAF aircrafts. They then proceeded to immigration, which is on the level above me, came down to the ground level, picked up their baggage from the baggage claim counters, and then just walked past, as you just saw, just like these people did, walked out to a Norca help desk that was located just outside the terminal, where they got any kind of information that they required. They also got some kind of assistance from Norca and from the state government as well, and then proceeded thereon to their final destinations.
Outside the airport, anxious family members waited nervously to get a glimpse of their loved ones. For those who lived far away and didn't have anyone waiting for them outside, the state government made necessary arrangements.
Definitely, because first Libya, then Iraq, now Yemen. So this is an indication for both the government of India and the government of Kerala. Especially more Keralites are in all these trouble-prone areas. So we will be making a permanent evacuation system to help the Indians or Keralites who want to come back.
Most of those who returned were happy to be back, but there were those who were unhappy and still others who did not return at all.
और भी वहाँ है इंडियन फंसे हुए, देखो वो नहीं सके निकलने, हम लोग भाग के कैसे भी करके निकल गए। भी वहाँ इंडियन लोग भी अभी भी है बहुत सारे, घर से नहीं सकते निकलते वो लोग। घर के बाहर है ना फायरिंग होती है, बम फट होते हैं। हम लोग बड़ी मुश्किल से हमारा घर वार सब हमारी प्रॉपर्टी छोड़ के आए वहाँ पर।
We have a lot of expenses, we have to pay loan, we have other expenses and all. So to do these things, now it's actually we are not in a good situation to overcome all these things. If you don't have job minimum 2 months or 1 month, okay, no problem, but 2 months, you know, EMI and all, there are car, these things and all. So it is very difficult to survive. If the problem goes like this, it will be difficult for us to survive.
Evacuation is one aspect of it. The government of India has done a stellar job in evacuating the several thousand Indians stranded in Yemen. But what next? Because many of these families, in fact most of these families who have come back from Yemen, have left everything behind and come back to India. They have started a new life here, but from scratch, and with what? You know, I'm at the residence of the Punnus family in Kerala. They are one such family who have left everything behind and come back to India. In fact, they picked up this house where you can see there's very minimal furniture inside here. They picked up this house about a year and a half ago on a very hefty loan, and now they don't really have means of paying that loan back because they are out of jobs right now, and there is no way of making up that money. They have an EMI of about 16,000 to be paid every month, and without a job it's very difficult for them to sustain life. And you know, it's festival time here in Kerala, and there are firecrackers going off all around the house, but each time a firecracker goes off, there's a sense of fear, there's a sense of uncertainty among them, because they've been amidst bombing and they've gone through hell and come back, and they can still relive what happened in Yemen, and that terrifies them to the core. The Punnus family is one of many families who are unhappy to be back, but are relieved that they are safe now.
When we came, nothing in our hand. Even the Norca, they given 2,000 rupees in the airport. Okay, it is thanks to Norca. Otherwise, nothing to our hand, and no money, and all our things, it is there. Just we locked the house, and we told the house owner, just keep it for 1 month or 2 months. We given 2 months advance pay there, but we don't know what will be the situation. Everything there.
There are others too who are not sure what the future holds for them.
I don't know. I am going to my house. I don't know what's happening my future.
With loans to be repaid and with no prospects of a job, life ahead looks bleak for them. Most of them are willing to go back to Yemen if the situation improves.
Actually, Yemenis and Houthis, they are very good with Indians. We have no any problem with them. They love Indians. But I am afraid of that things which is, you know, if there is a war time, there is no any government can control.
With the Houthis shelling large cities in Saudi Arabia, it looks unlikely that the situation in Yemen is going to improve anytime soon. This leaves the evacuees with very few options.
काफ़ी challenges हैं और evacuate करने में, क्योंकि आखिर के अंदर जो है लोग बाग निकल कर आते हैं, तो इसलिए काफ़ी दिक्कत आती है निकालने के अंदर। और दूसरा, क्योंकि अदन के अंदर बाकी जगह पर गोलीबारी चल रही है, सना के आसपास गोलीबारी चल रही है, तो जो हालात हैं उसके अंदर निकालने में परेशानी तो है।
One can sympathize with those who have left everything behind and come back. But is the government to blame for their situation? In a country where unemployment is rampant, there's precious little that the government can do other than providing them a safe passage into India.
Well, the evacuation process took place under very tricky circumstances. The Indian naval ships and aircraft went into Yemen in a warlike situation. There were bombs dropping all over the place and anti-aircraft fire as well. But the embassy in Yemen worked day and night, and 24/7 to ensure that each and every Indian return to India safely.
In the beginning, India struggled for several days to ramp up its rescue efforts and had to hire a ship to evacuate its nationals from the port of Aden as fighting escalated there. India's rescue effort got off to a false start with planes commandeered from Air India sitting idle in Muscat, Oman, as it was impossible to negotiate the opening of a safe air corridor with the Saudis. Things got moving with the deployment of Minister of State for External Affairs General V.K. Singh to a forward operations base in Djibouti on the other side of the Gulf of Aden, from where Indian Air Force C-17 transporters picked up evacuees brought out by Air India from Aden and flying them home.
Nothing happened because our flight landed that time. Djibouti Indian ambassador, he came our flight and he told us, you stay here because they will move to flight, don't want to go outside. Then we stay half an hour in the flight, the bus came and we go to the another flight only. That flight was late 4 hours in the airport.
On the afternoon of 29th of March, Sunday, we had a call from the Shipping Ministry, Government of India, asking us to proceed to arrange to send 2 ships to evacuate the refugees from the Yemen, and we therefore immediately contacted the Lakshadweep administration. They had just sailed off one of their big ships, Kavarati, so with reluctance we had to pull it back and accommodate the passengers in 2 other vessels. We also mobilized with the support of the UTL administration another vessel, Coral, MV Coral. Together these 2 vessels could handle about 1,150 passengers. So in an emergency it could go up by another 20%. So this was a perfect setting for arranging a large scale evacuation from Yemen.
The general's military experience was on display during the evacuation process. He led from the front and even accompanied sorties to Yemen, thereby instilling faith and confidence among the petrified Indians.
Foreign Minister also, he is there in the airport. He helped a lot of all the peoples, and he carrying the bags and everything. Then the kids, he care about the kids and everything. Then we moved from Yemen to Djibouti. The same day we reached in the Cochin airport.
The expats were very impressed with the entire operation and heaped praises on the External Affairs Ministry, the Prime Minister and the government.
As a risk that time, a flight landing on between this bombing and things, and our minister come down to Sanaa, and he himself, means he take that risk, personal risk for his life actually, and he take that risk and he came down. We appreciate really, and he done very good, means the maximum, even you can see all the other countries, they appreciate, because I heard some of them, they said, oh, Indians we are more, 10,000 people, like more than 6,000, 8,000 people there. And the other countries, they are 200 or 300. It's okay, they can evacuate on a day. But our government, the minister, he done something, and means I cannot imagine it can be done by Indian government. Really, I am just appreciate.
India's embassy in the Yemeni capital Sanaa had a full-time staff of just 10, making it tough to track citizens there. Some reluctant to leave even in the face of danger because losing their jobs would spell financial ruin. In spite of the challenges, the government kept the embassy open as long as they could and gave the Indians there a fighting chance of making it back to the embassy and eventually to India. Even the Prime Minister praised the efforts of the embassy, the External Affairs Ministry and everyone else who was involved in the operation.
मैं मानता हूं दुनिया में पहली बार हुआ होगा कि किसी सरकार का एक मंत्री जैसे युद्ध के मैदान में खड़ा हो वैसे वहां खड़ा रह करके काम करता हो साहब। ये छोटी घटना नहीं है दोस्तों। और मैं जनरल वीके सिंह को सैल्यूट करता हूं। आप लोग अगर सोशल मीडिया में होंगे तो देखा होगा रात को 1 बजे भी किसी ने सुषमा जी को अगर ट्वीट किया हो तो रात 1:10 में उनका जवाब जाता है। कंसर्न एम्बेसी को सूचना जाती है, विदिन एन आवर उसका संपर्क कर दिया जाता है। आप कल्पना कर सकते हो भारत का विदेश मंत्रालय इस रूप में कभी काम किया हो, देखा है क्या किसी ने?
The Indian government went to great lengths to evacuate over 4,600 Indian nationals, and they were all grateful to a job well done.
A half-hour documentary will not do justice to the entire evacuation of Indians from Yemen. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, with our second part of our special report, Yemen, the Great Escape. Do watch out for that.